Very good evening, my dear students, my dear friends. So welcome you all in this YouTube live stream. So this is first lecture from Python programming language. The topic which we'll study today is Introduction and Basics of Python. So I welcome you all in this YouTube live stream. So we have to cover the introduction part and the basic concepts of Python programming language today. The difference between the Python and other programming languages like C, C++, Java, etc. So we'll cover different kind of languages and their comparison. So let's start with the introduction part. So as we know, Python is a high level programming language. First of all, I'll tell you about what is a high level programming language. A high level programming language is a language which use various compilers, interpreters to compile the source code and convert it into a machine based code, and also to convert the code into an executable format so that it can be used to deliver the output. The very first high level programming language was C programming language. The Python is another high level programming language. Initially, there are few basic features which I'll tell you about Python programming language. So very first feature is it is an interpreted language. Python is processed at the runtime by the interpreter. Like you have written your source code either in an online editor of Python or you have written it in a notepad editor, then you just need to process this code. Today I'll show you the live demonstration of Python program execution on pythontutor.com execution environment. So this is an interpreted language because it is processed at runtime. No compile time execution of programs is much required in Python. So it is an interactive programming language. You can use a Python prompt where you have to type any command or the code and interact with the interpreter directly to write your program. This is the another advantage of Python language is that you can directly interact with the interpreter. You just write the code at the runtime and you will receive the output on the screen. It also completes the concepts of object-oriented programming. It supports object-oriented techniques of programming. As we know, C is an object-based programming language. C language does not support object-oriented features like encapsulation, inheritance, but in Python you can also implement all these object-oriented programming language as like Java programming language. Today I'll discuss one program comparison between the Python language and Java. I will also tell you about few key points which are able to tell you the basic difference between Python, why it is so much popular nowadays, and other languages which are not much powerful as like Python programming language. It is generally called as beginner's language. So this is the main point which I want to tell you. Even if you do not know the basics of any programming language like C or C++ or Java, you can start your programming with Python as well. Python is a great language for the beginner level programmers and it supports the development of a wide range of applications. So you can work with very real-time problem solving techniques. So it has a very large set of libraries which helps you to design a model as well as to process the real world problem. This facility is not much available in C or C++ languages, and you can also start with the Python from beginning itself. So the first thing which you need to understand about Python is that it is an interpreted language. Today I'll tell you about the difference between a compiler based language as well as interpreter based languages. So there are basically two sort of programming languages. One is interpreted one, another is compiled one. Now you have to understand the difference between interpreted language and compiled language. A compiled language is what you are probably use if you have done any program in the past. So like C is a compiler based programming language. So first you need to write your source code, then compiler compiles that code into .obj file. If you are writing a C++ program, then .cpp file is converted into .obj file. The process of a compiler based language is in these 4 steps. There are 4 steps required in a compiler based language, but in an interpreter based language such steps are not required. First you need to create the source file like .c file, .c++ file or .java file. After that you need to use compiler to check your syntax and to convert your code from source file into binary code. Now I just want to tell you, a computer understands only binary language. The different ASCII characters are also available which are being used as a assembly code, and they are used to convert the main source code into a binary code. Then the third step is the linker. The linker is used to turn the binary file into executable format. The binary file needs to be converted into executable. Then you have to run that executable format in your operating system. So this is a 4-step process required for compiler based language. But the difference between interpreted and compiler based language is that you just write your code, send it to the interpreter, and that interpreter will execute your code. So now coming to the very interesting part, this is the statistics, the initial statistics when Python was introduced in around 2008. So very most popular language at that time was C#. 11.4% people were using C# language in September 2008 statistics during if they were programming like Stack Overflow programming. After that, the most popular language was Java. Java was used 7.9%. Then object-oriented C++ programming language. The 5.3% people were using C++ programming language for their application development or software development. After that, JavaScript was used if you want to design a web development or you want to design a server-based programming. Then the number of Python came at 5th step. 3.8% people were using Python. But nowadays statistics have been changed a lot. From 2019 onward, so many other kind of languages goes down and the graph of Python goes high. It is all because that Python has such a large wide variety of you can say libraries or files inside it which support the modeling of real world problem and transferring you the result prediction. So the main important feature of Python is model designing and prediction. SQL is a backend based language which is used to access the data from the database. Structured query language. Around 3.5% people or programmers were working in SQL, then PHP, C language, Ruby and Perl. The percentage ratio of Perl was less than 1%. These are the statistics of 2008. But when coming to the 2019 onwards, even from 2010 onwards, Python started to gain so much of interest from the various programmers. But Python became the #1 language or the most popular language. It is easy to learn. The main advantage of Python is that it is easy to learn. The second advantage of Python is that it has a very simple syntax which makes it suitable for learning to program as the first language. Nowadays, Python came in the syllabus of school. Around 9th, 10th class students are learning Python without learning any C language or any other programming language. The reason behind it is that it is the most popular, very first language to be learned by the students or researchers or programmer. After that, the second one is Go. The Go programming language. Most of the people are not much aware about it, that it is used when typically we have to build an application using Java or Java virtual machine. The second most popular platform, independent platform, is Java or JVM. The Go language is nowadays is the Java JVM based language which is used to compile your projects and to execute your projects. After Go, the main third language is Java programming language. Java has a wide variety of software tools available inside it. Java has web development based tools. Java has front-end application development tools. Java has network-based application tool. Server-side programming and client-side programming can also be done in Java. The major advantage of Java is that it is platform independent. So it is another most popular language used nowadays. After that, Swift. If you choose to learn iOS development, means Android, not Android, you want to learn about Mac OS or Apple or iPads, etc. You want to learn about the language or environment of these, then the Swift is the platform where you can design your program and you can run your program. After that, fifth one is your C programming language. It is the most popular language during your graduation or degree part. This is the very first high level programming language which you try to learn. So it is a most powerful reason for using C is its memory allocation and deallocation. The data structure implementation or your another kind of application development are initially done in C. So C allows you to write your program directly into the editor, and from that editor it simply compiles and gives you the output. The next language is Ruby. Ruby is the language which runs on many platforms like Windows, Mac OS, Linux. So there are so many environments where you can run the Ruby language. So these are the 6 major platforms nowadays since 2019 onward where programmers are programming. But the number one is the Python, and it is not used basically in computer science or IT based application. Nowadays most of the universities in our country teach Python to all engineering students, whether it is a civil or computer or electrical or mechanical engineering student. Python is used in most of the disciplines or engineering branches. It is the buzz of the day, you can say. So now coming back to the why Python is used for beginners. This is the very important point which all of you need to learn. Python, why it is used. I have brushed up into 5 different categories why Python is generally beneficial for beginners rather than you start your programming with Java or you start your programming with C or C++. The reason being Python is easy to learn. Python language is very easy to learn because its code is 3 to 5 times shorter than Java and 5 to 10 times shorter than C++. This is the very big advantage of Python. You can say benefit number 1 if you are learning Python. You just need to write a simple statement in your preferable language syntax and you will get the desired output directly through the interpreter. No need to compile the code, no need to generate the intermediate files. So Python is easy to learn. I will show you the live demonstration today where we'll see if you just want to print your name on the screen. Python needs only 1 line syntax, but Java needs around 7 to 8 line syntax. C++ needs 8 to 10 line syntax if you want to print your name on the screen. So it requires very less number of lines of code. It is easy to learn. The Python language is easy to learn. I'll teach you in this complete video lecture series. Around 20 to 25 lectures I will cover all the advanced and basic concepts of Python programming language. It is a stepping stone to the programming universe. Now stepping stone means nowadays the technologies of today's world are developed or being developed in Python programming language. As like first language C changed the environment, all the intermediate level languages or low level languages has been washed out when the C language came in around 20 years back in the limelight. Nowadays Python is the buzz of the word. Every IT based company is asking Python based questions or Python based methodologies or models during their recruitment drives. The methodologies can be used in a broad range of applications. The methodologies or libraries which are used in Python language can be used for broad range of applications. Like if you are designing a machine learning based disease prediction model, then you can easily develop a model by using classification or many other techniques with the help of Python programming language. So it is the most popular platform for machine learning, data analytics, or you can say other latest technologies, data fulfillment. So the third advantage is bridging the gap between abstract computing and real world application. Python has a very large or wide set of libraries. It bridges the gap between different real world applications. Like I have given you the example of disease prediction or abstract computing. Abstract computing means the source code which helps us to predict some real world problem or to provide the solution to a real world problem. So this is the third advantage of Python. The fourth advantage why Python is very important and easy for beginners is that it has rising demand for Python programmer. Various IT giants or IT based companies recruits Python programmers like Google, Nokia, Disney, Yahoo, IBM. So many other companies use Python. Their Hadoop architectures or their advanced structures are being written in Python programming language. But in this video lecture series, we'll start from very basic. The last advantage of Python for beginners is that it is open source, it is object oriented, procedural and functional language. It has four kind of programming methodologies. It is object oriented, it is open source, it is procedural, as well as it is functional. So this Python programming language is open source. Anyone can download. Today I will provide you the various web links from where you can download Python in your system, or you can use directly with the online resources. No need to install Python or editor or any kind of interpreter in your system if you do not have much large configuration, hardware configuration. So no, it is not only a scripting language, it also supports web development and database connectivity. Before Python came into the limelight, the database connectivity was done with the help of Java programming language. JDBC, ODBC drivers were used to connect the front end with the back end. And the web development was majorly done in PHP or JavaScript, etc. Nowadays, Python supports all these functionalities. It supports front-end development, front-end applications development. It also supports back-end application development as well as another kind of technologies. So as this is a live class, I got a message from Varun Varshane. Thank you so much, Varun, for interest. If any student has any query during the live class, or if they have any important question in their mind, they can ask. So okay, Varun, please stay connected, and if you have any doubt in the future slide, you can ask from me. Okay, coming to the next slide, where Python is used nowadays. Now I am providing you various wide range of applications where Python is used. Even you cannot imagine you are using a mobile phone, whether it is Apple mobile phone or it is a Android mobile phone or Windows based mobile phone or laptop or iPad. Python is running inside your mobile, and at the back end you are using Python. So number first where Python is used is system programming. It is an interface to the operating system. Most of the drivers, most of the other kind of applications are being developed in programming. As you know, there are two kind of softwares. One is system software, another is application software. Our operating system is a system software. So to provide the interface with the hardware to that system software, which is operating system, the Python programming language is used. So it is a system programming language as well. Second is GUI. GUI, the full form is graphical user interface. So Python can be used to design an interface. Various inbuilt libraries are used like tkinter library, WX Python libraries, packages are used. It is similar to swings. As we use Java swings, if you have any basic idea about what Java swings are used, same tkinter or WX Python libraries in Python are used for graphical user interface. Third is web development. Most people generally thinks that Python may or may not be used in web development, but Python is very popular in web development application as well. Various kind of application which are used doing web development like Django, Flask, WSGI, all these applications are being programmed in Python programming language. It also supports database programming. Like earlier we used SQL, NoSQL, PLSQL. PLSQL means procedural language, structured query language. All these are the database programming languages. Nowadays, SQL Alchemy is the component which is used for database programming with the help of Python. It is also used in scientific computing. Now, if you want to become a data analyst or data programmer, then you must be aware about what these libraries of Python can do. NumPy and SciPy, Science Library Python and NumPy. These two libraries has such vast variety of inbuilt functions which are used for various scientific computing. Whether you want to predict a disease, or you want to predict the stock market results in the coming, or you want to do the weather forecasting, or even if you are working in a nuclear reaction based project, such kind of projects use scientific computing. It is very similar to like your scientific calculator which is in your mobile phone or you have to purchase from market. So it does all kind of scientific computing. This is the most powerful feature. Now, gaming, image processing, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, these are very wide varieties where Python is used. You can use Python for interesting online gaming. You can design different games in Python. In your project after your second year or third year of your engineering, you can develop different games in Python. Then image processing, you want to work on, like if you want to detect cancer in a human's body, then the scanned MRI images can be used as a data set, and the program or model developed in Python can be used to process those images and to do prediction. Artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, natural language processing, generally called as NLP. Python is also used in natural language processing. The last but not the least, the mobile development. In mobile application development, Python is also used. So these are some of the categories where we can use Python. Okay, now different Pythons, as the title suggests, the Python is itself written in many other programming languages. There are different versions of Python. I'm not talking about version 1.0, version 2.0. The languages which are used to develop Python, the C Python. It is the original Python written in C programming language. So the most popular version of Python is written in C programming language. It is called as the original Python. Then second is J Python. J means Java. Python implemented in Java programming language. This is another kind of Python that is called as J Python. Third one is Iron Python. Maybe you have not heard this word or this different version of Python. If the Python is implemented in C# programming language, the hash symbol is generally used for sharp. If C# language is used, then this is called as Iron Python. Then J Python and Iron Python allow integration with Java and .NET component. The above two Pythons, J Python and Iron Python, they provide you can say compatibility with Microsoft product or Sun Microsystem product. Microsoft product is .NET technology and Sun Microsystems product is Java. So Java and .NET, if you want to embed these applications within your program, then J Python and Iron Python are used. J Python converts Python into Java bytecode, that is also called as virtual code, which is executed by the JVM. So if you want to integrate Python with Java, then you have to choose J Python. Okay. Now this was the real introduction which everyone need to know about what is Python, different versions of Python. In interviews, some questions can be asked from this part which we have covered till now. So I have got one message from Anshita Jayant. So thank you very much for staying connected. Those students who are connected, please show your presence. If you have any question, type in the chat box. Your comments are visible to me. I will answer your questions. So before coming to the next slide, I just want to say this is the very first video lecture of YouTube live streaming for Python. Today I am just covering introduction, live demonstration of Python. Within next two slides, we'll switch to the live demonstration of Python, that is pythontutor.com. So first I'll tell you the history of Python. It was conceptualized by Guido van Rossum in 1980s. The picture of the person is given here. This is the person who developed the Python in 1980s, late 1980s, around 1987, 1988, this Python has been introduced by this person. So the Rosum published the first version of Python 0.90 in February 1991. So early 90s, the first version of Python came in light. At that time, he was working in CWI, Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica in Netherlands, Amsterdam. So in 1991, very first version of Python came into light. It was derived from ABC programming language, which is a general purpose programming language. As like you know, C is a programming language, A is a programming language, ABC is a general purpose programming language, which was developed at CWI. Nowadays, R programming language is also very popular. Python is derived from many other languages like Modula, C, C#, Smalltalk, Unix scripting languages. So Python has been developed in so many other high-level programming languages. It is copyrighted, but nowadays it is freely available under open source license. It is now available under GNU, General Public License. So earlier it was a copyrighted product, but now it is available under GPL, General Public License by GNU. So the person chose the name Python because he was a big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. So generally people think why name of Python or from where name of Python appeared. So Monty Python's Flying Circus, from here the name of Python came into limelight. It is maintained by a core development team at Institute. Rosum holds a vital role in directing its progress. The Rosal has developed this product, so he is coordinating the complete team. Okay, this is the last slide about introduction part, then we will start implementation part. So the different version of Python, the very first commercialized version, you can say the major version, after that few minor versions were also introduced, came in 1994. The 0.90 version came in 1991, but the commercialized Python 1.0 came in January 1994. The different years we got different versions. Python 1.5 came on 31st December 1997. Python 1.6 came in 2000. Nowadays these versions are not in use. Then in 2000, around 6 years later, Python 2.0 was introduced. From 2000 to 2010, for almost 10 years, Python version 2.0 was in use. So in 2001, 2.0 version came in December 2001, Python 2.2 came 2003, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are the different versions of Python. Nowadays, the Python version 3 is used. In December 3, 2008, the Python 3 version came into limelight. Generally, people work on Python 3.5. This Python 3.5 version came into limelight in 2015. After that, Python 3.6.0, 7.0, 8.0 and 8.1, such versions came into limelight. So this is the Python, various different kind of versions. Okay, now from where you can get the Python, I have given the direct links here. You can download and install Python 3.5 version from this link. The website used to download the Python is python.org/downloads. You can get all the version compatible with your hardware or software. You can download the Python from such websites. You can download PyDev environment from pydev.org.download HTML. You can download Eclipse, where it is an editor where you can write various programs under this part, eclipse.org, and then you can install Python in your machine. But nowadays people are using two different platforms. One is Google Colab, another is Python Tutor. So Google Collaboratory, it is a research-based product developed by Google. So research.google.com/collaboratory. You have to access this link with your Gmail account or Google account. It is a resource of various hardwares and softwares which provides you an online environment for writing Python programs, utilizing online resources and executing your program. Then Python Tutor is the next website. Today I will give you the live demonstration of this website, Python Tutor, pythontutor.com. It is an interface or platform where you can run different programs. Now coming to the next slide. Basic syntax of Python. This word is very important. Indentation. Indentation is very important in Python. Python generally needs indentation. Indentation means if you have started Python, you have to delimit the blocks. I will show you in the next slide what actually indentation means. The number of spaces is variable between indentation, but all statement within the same block must be indented the same amount. Like if you have given first line, you have starting from index 0, then you have given a tab, after that the second delimited box started, then another tab, third delimited box started. So you need to maintain the indentation. The header line for compound statement such as if, while, define, classes should be terminated with a colon. Means if you are defining if condition or while condition, then the line should terminate with a colon. This is the basic syntax of Python. And third one is semicolon, which is optional. You can use it at the end of the statement or you may skip it. It is an optional component. So if you are writing a Python program, these three syntax statements are required. You need to keep it in mind. If you are not doing the indentation in your Python source code, then it will show an error. If you are maintaining indentation, then you can work with the programs. Okay. Now the main part, the difference between a Python code and a Java code. Here I just want to print my name on the screen. I have written a Java code for this part and I have written a Python code for this part. You can just check it here. This first one is your Java code. Here 7 lines are used to write a program, but same thing can be done in Python with 1 line. Java requires a specific syntax, the case sensitive syntax, if you just want to simply print your name on the screen. Like first you need to define a class and you have to give the name of class. This is the source code of Java. This is a Java source code. Here you have to type hello world as the name of the class. This source code will be written in Notepad editor and you have to save it with .java. After that you need to start the main function. Every high level programming language requires the main function. The main function, like public static void main, it is a syntax. If you are defining main function in Java, simply void main or int main. If you are defining in C or C++, within the bracket you have to write the syntax string arguments and square empty bracket. After that system.out.println. S should be capital here because it is case sensitive. So S should be capital here. So system.out.println. After that within the bracket I have written my name Vikas Kamra. So when I will save this program as .java, then I need compiler to compile this code. I need compiler to compile this code. Then the file from .java will be converted into .class. So the initial file will be .java. After compilation it will become .class. Then at last it will become executable. So Java, class and executable. These three kind of transitions are required. So compiler is required. You need interpreter, executor to execute your program. But in Python, simply write print. Now you can see the name of the function. Here the name of the function is print. because you want to print something on the screen, you do not require system.out.println. You just require print. It is an inbuilt code function in Python, and within the bracket just type the string which you want to print on the screen. I just want to print my name, that is Vikas Kamra. So I simply written print within the bracket, within the curly braces, Vikas Kamra. So I have printed this code on the screen by using only one line, but Java required 7 lines. So it is a simple program, but if you are writing a complex program, then the difference between the number of lines will also increase. So Python is very easy. If you want to take input from the user, you just simply write input. Like I am just giving you one example. In C programming language, if you want to print something, you need printf function. If you want to take keyboard from input, you need scanf function. Similarly, in C++ programming language, if you want to print something, you need cout function. And in C++ programming language, if you want to take something from the keyboard, you need cin function. But in Java, no need to remember such complex name of the functions. In Python, simply print is used to print output, and simply input is used to take input from the keyboard. Okay. Now I am coming to the next basic construct of Python is comments. You can define a single line comment, that is a single line comment, or multi-line comment. There are two kind of comments which you can define. One is a single line comment that starts with the hash symbol. I have given the example here. This is a single line comment. You just need to write hash here. Then multi-line comment starts and ends with the triple single quote. This is the difference between C, C++, Java or Python. Here triple single quotes or triple double quotes are required. Like as you can see here, triple single quotes, triple double quotes. So different triple quotes are required to write multi-line comments in Python. Every language has some reserved words. We generally call them as keywords. So a keyword is one that means something to the language, that is reserved for the language, not for the developer or the programmer of that language. So Python also has some set of reserved words, like I have written all the reserved words of Python here, and exec, note, break, for, pass. All these are the reserved words in Python. So all these words you cannot use for your own purpose. The programmer cannot use this word to define their user defined function or to write a variable. The Python use like print is used to print something, continue, if, in, is, lambda, except, elif, else. All these are the inbuilt reserved words in Python. Okay, another interesting feature, multi-line statements. Python allows you the functionality of multi-line statement. The slash character is used for this purpose. If you do not want to write a text in a single line, but you want the interpreter to treat it as a single line text, then this special symbol or special character is used, that is slash character. So like I have given an example here, I have written a simple statement, count is equal to 2 plus 5 multiply by 7, but before 7 I have written a slash function, slash character. So now the text written in next line will be treated as a single line text. 2 plus 5 is 7, then multiply by 7 is equal to 49 plus 9 by 3. First 9 by 3 will be treated, that is 3, then it will be added to the 49. So the answer of this statement will be 52. Now this statement is written in 3 different lines, but due to this backslash character, it will be treated as a single line statement. You can also use different brackets to define single line statements. Just a minute. Okay, so this is single line statement. You can see here, sorry for the interruption. So here we can use different brackets and comma to define different kind of statement within a single block. Like here square bracket is used. I have written 4 values, 101, my name Vikas, 111 and 500.24. So all these are written in a single square bracket separated with comma. Then we do not need any multi-line character to go to the next line. So whether you are using simple bracket or curly braces or you are using square bracket, then you do not need such kind of multi-line characters. You just simply write in any number of line and you can use it. Now I am just writing a simple program to assign a value to a variable. So first I have written print welcome to YouTube live session. I just want to print this output. So when I will run this program, it will come here, welcome to YouTube live session. Now you can see 100 is written in the output line. What is from where this 100 came? This came from second print statement. I have declared a variable A. As you see, I have not written any semicolon at the end of every line. Like in C or C++, we need semicolon to terminate the line. But here I have not written any semicolon at the end of the line. I simply defined a value 100 which is stored in variable A and I printed this A variable. So the output is welcome to YouTube live session from this print statement, 100 from this print statement. Now print value of A is, I have written one more syntax. Here I am printing two values together. One is the static value, another is dynamic value. Value of A is as like printed here and the value from variable A is 100. Now percent, this percent is string format operator. Python has its own string format operator which is represented by percent symbol. Python has its own string as like you know in C programming language %d, %f etc. are used in printf or scanf statement. In Python you can write simply %20s. So 20 length string will be printed, but here the length of string is only 6. So Python is printed here. Also I have written 2000.34. I have written a floating point value here, but in printing only the before decimal component came, that is 2000, because I have defined its data type as %d. So this is the simple print statement taking value and storing value in a variable. Now another is input from user. If you want to take input from the user, then this input function, this input inbuilt function is used. If you want to ask the name of the user, I simply declared a variable name. In this we do not have to write like define or something, any inbuilt pre-syntax. You just simply write the name of the variable, then assignment operator, that is equal operator, then input, within the bracket I have written the syntax enter your name, then I have written print welcome to YouTube live session, then comma name. So say when I written my name Vikas, so until and unless I will not write my name and press the enter button, I will not go to the next line for execution. So welcome to YouTube live session Vikas. This will be printed in the output. Then I have taken another variable. Either you can write it in a separate line or you can write it in a continuous line. It will be treated as a new line. Then I have written another input variable, that is enter age. Say I have entered my age as 36. Now you can see plus. This is a very important operator used in the inbuilt print statement, print function. Plus is a concatenation operator. This operator is used to concatenate the input variable with the static string, like name plus is. Is written in inverted comma, so it will be treated as a simple text message, not any variable which is storing any output. Then age, it is not written in any inverted comma, so it is the variable in which I have given the value 36. So the output of this program is Vikas is 36 old and 3 sign of exclamation. So I will get the output with the 3 concatenation operators. Here 1, 2 and 3. 3 concatenation operators are used. Very first concatenation operator merges name, which is a variable, with static string, that is. So Vikas is, then another concatenation operator 36, then another concatenation operator old. So this program will demonstrate you about how to take input from the keyboard and how to print output on the screen. Okay, now coming to the few basic concepts of Python. Identifiers. First I will tell you about identifiers. These are the name given to anything that you want to identify in a program. So if you want to identify something, like I have given 3 examples, bill ID, customer ID, bill amount. All these 3 are the variables. These are the identifiers. They are used to identify something which is defined by the user. These are the names given to anything. Like you want to define some medicine, then you can write medicine as an identifier, which can be a variable. These identifiers can start with underscore, like underscore Vikas. It can also be a identifier. These cannot match any Python reserved word. As like in all other programming languages, the reserved words cannot be used as the name of the identifier. They are case sensitive. Capital Vikas or small Vikas, both are treated as different identifier in Python. Then another is variables. Every language has a set of variables where you can assign some static values. These are the identifiers for the data, and they hold data in your program. It is a location in memory where a value can be stored. Variables, as all of you know, if you understand about what is a computer program, then variables are used to store the values. A quantity that can change during program execution. No declaration of variable. Data type of variable can change during program execution. They are strongly typed languages. They are used in like Java, C, C++. Few examples I have given here. Here customer ID, it is storing integer value. Customer name variable, it is storing string value. Bill amount variable, it is storing some floating point value. Print, it is a function, it is printing all these 3 values. Then print, you can also write real part, that is the decimal after decimal part, or you can imaginary part. So real, decimal, you can also use these kind of parameters with the help of print function to get your output printed. So you can use different kind of variables in your language. Now the data types. Every language has a fixed set of data types. Python has 4 data types. One is integer, which contains 2 kind of data type, int and complex. Another is floating type, which contains float. Another is textual, which contains string. Another is logical, which contains boolean. All these are the inbuilt data types and their examples used in Python. Now the last topic which we'll cover today is operators in Python. Very interesting, very simple, very easy, used in all the programming languages. arithmetic operator, relational operator, assignment operator, bitwise operator, logical operator, membership and identity operator. These two may be new to all of you, but all these are the common operators which are used in any programming languages. One by one, very quickly I will cover all these operators. Arithmetic operators are like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, truncation division. Now this is truncation division, means floor division. This is truncation division operator, raised to power or exponential operator. So these are the arithmetic operators. Relational operators are the equal, less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to and similar to not equal to. Some few unique operators in every category you will find out here. So not equal to and similar to not equal to are represented by these two symbols. These are the relational operators in Python. Assignment operators, very common operators. Simple assignment will be done by single equal operator, plus equal, minus equal, multiply equal, divide equal, like 2 plus equal 3. It means 2 plus 3 is equal to, that is 5. 3 minus equal 2 means 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Modulus equal, truncation equal, exponential equal. Simply I have written an assignment word in front of all these operators. Bitwise operator, in digital electronics, in binary algebra, everywhere these bitwise operators are used. In flip-flops, in logic gates, all these operators are used, like ampersand and operator, divide, raised to power, binary XOR, binary ones complement, binary left shift, binary right shift. Python support all these kind of bitwise operators. Then logical operators, and, or, not. These are the three logical operator. Logical AND means both inputs are on, then only the output will be on. Or if any one of the input is on, then output will be on. If one of the input is off, there is no effect on OR operator output. Then NOT operator, input is on, output is off, input is off, output is on. So these are the three logical operator supported by Python. Now last two kind of operator, one is membership operator, one is in and another is not in. So one is in operator, another is not in operator. If an item is found in a set, then this in operator will give yes or true. If it is not in, then again it gives yes, but if it is in, then this not in operator will give false. It is like binary boolean operator. And the last is identity operator. Identity operator is used to identify something whether it is inside a set or it is not inside a set. Say I have defined a set 1, 2, 3. Then 1 is in this set, 4 is not in this set. So these are the two identity operator to identify something whether it is in or not in. Okay, this is the home assignment for all of you. Just you need to simply solve these two questions. Take two inputs from user and check whether they are equal or not. So equal assignment operator can be used. You need to write a Python program for this and you need to use it in the Python tutor. And the second question is you have to compare Python with other high level programming languages. I have given very detailed explanation of Python's comparison with C, C++, Java, etc. Okay, next class will be scheduled tomorrow, 9th of June from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The topics which I will cover in next class is Python control structure and Python data structure. So these two topics I will cover tomorrow. So stay connected from 6:30 to 7:30. Thank you very much all of you for staying connected in this live class. If you have any doubt, even after the live class, you can type your questions in the comment box. We will reply your questions within the comment box itself. So thank you very much students. See you tomorrow all of you.